Hello, Georges.
Hello, Nico.
I found Jacques Marquet.
Oh, what
Did
was
he
left
talk?
of him?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah, killed in cold blood by a
Il est
bogus doctor.
mort.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man? Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window.
Could have been a costume.
Have you ever heard of the Hashi Ashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish. I'll
Like a
never trust
doll's
a doctor
eyes.
again. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves. Maybe not.
Think of what we could do with this, my dear.
Do you want to look after the gem?
No, Georges.
I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one? Rousseau or Sergeant Mou? Oh, were you referring to Andre?
I'll let you work it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to work it out. Where shall we go? Let's go back to Le Musée Crune, because we know that the tripod's in there. Aha! Someone new to talk with.
I beg your pardon. Are you Andre Lobineau?
Boy,
That's me. You want my autograph?
No, I was
like
told
the
you
French
may be able to
time
help
team.
me. Help? My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay, shoot.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure, it was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
no, we like to
public
outdo
toilet?
ourselves.
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochman, that's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before
Now,
I
where is
arrived.
Pegram?
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Probably the other way
Back in
round.
the summer, July,
I don't like your
think.
ponytail, my friend.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of 2 men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I don't trust
I'm
him.
not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman.
Hee-haw.
This friend who has the manuscript,
Oui,
Oui,
anonymous
c'est juste
girlfriend.
with
she
my
lives at
galley.
361
Yeah,
Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well.
Saucisson.
I'll drop by.
Une
Just
banane.
as soon as I can.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
No.
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon.
Well, there
the
you
order
go.
became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of
See,
information,
I didn't
Andre.
think they were. I
Glad
thought
to
they
be of
originally
help,
started out as the Holy Order of Saint Michael.
How come
or
the
something
Templars
like that.
became so wealthy?
No, well.
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ
That was it.
became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Like Brady.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's
Oui.
true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Why
French
did you loan the
hubris.
tripod to me for safety?
Yeah, right.
Because I'd never see it again.
Well, don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point. Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in
Must
11th
foul
century
it.
Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legend surrounding the secrets
Did you
of
not
their
hear me as a
initiation rites.
Hashashin? Don't you
A
think
young
that
man
sounds the
who sought to
same?
join the sect
Stupid
was given hashish
Americana.
until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
Seems a lot better than the benefits that come with joining most military organizations.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
The fact the security guard is walking between us, I think that's a bit rude, personally.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
Does the guy in this photograph look familiar to you?
No,
That was helpful.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Andre.
not now, Georgie.
I do not know where it's been.
That is not a good idea. What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen.
Wait till you see what's in my
Did
pants.
you get it?
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so. You're not one of those crazies who think the Templars still exist, are you?
Well, I try to keep an open mind on the matter. Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Alamut is the name of the place where the Hashashin were based.
Where is it?
Somewhere in what used to be called Persia. I'm not too hot on modern geography, I'm afraid. The most recent map I have shows America as an English colony.
One day that map will be accurate once again.
What do you make of this ID card?
Nothing.
Oh, a hat, a brooch, paper boat.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
So we need to go to this Montfaucon. Hurrah! New locations. Another cafe.
Excuse me, officer.
Oi. Oh my god.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
There is
I
no
could
directing
direct the
them.
traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon.
While
Which would you choose?
I can't
but
say his
I'm not a
voice is
policeman.
excellent, it
What
is
happened
great
to duty?
fun to listen
An
to.
excellent question, monsieur.
I need a character that sounds like him in one of my games.
Would you like to shake? I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been smart.
Well,
They'd
we haven't
rebuild
really
the
done that
Bastille just so
many
they could throw me
smart
in and
things.
throw away the key.
Yeah.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
More sewers for us to traipse down.
I couldn't open it with my bare hands.
Fortunately, we have a tool for the job.
Hey, you. What do you think you are doing? Leave that comer alone. Now,
Ah,
Sorry, no harm intended.
you stay away from that.
bloody
In
spoil
French,
sport
English,
cop.
and German, it read,
Filth.
in 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the knightly order of the Templars and excommunicated its members on charges of heresy. In the following 2 years, many of the knights were hanged on this site. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burnt at the stake on an island in the Seine.
How pleasant. They surely knew how to kill people back then, didn't they?
I didn't have time to sit around.
We're in for a long walk. Do 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 do.
A knight, there in the company of his fellows. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world. I guess.
I'm no expert.
On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack. A scroll was a symbol of scholarship. I knew that much. A scholarly knight. That rang a bell. A very Spanish bell.
Oh?
In comparison to its neighbor, it looked pretty plain. Somehow, it looked more modern than its neighbor. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout.
Bloody heathen. No, I was wondering if we could perhaps put the gem in that.
I could see that what had at first seemed to be a fine engraved chasing on the scroll was actually writing. Per disciplinum meum lux videbus. Sounds pretty familiar to me. Per disciplinum meum lux videbus.
Ah, there you go.
A bit of a stained glass window. Wow! Hoping for a big insight while squinting through a hunk of statuary had been pretty optimistic, I guess.
But that does tell us something, doesn't it?
A bit. I didn't recognize. A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. A stone... I wondered if this guy...
Probably not. Apparently I can work this.
Well, I could have just taken the end off the staff, but I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing a church, other than deported.
So if the end of the staff can come off, what can I put in its place? The manhole thing? No. I'm sure this gem must have something to do with it, although I suspect that goes at it goes on top of the tripod, from what we've already learned.
I didn't have time.
No one's asking you to sit around, you bloody arse. Come on, out we go. There we are. Oh, we're back here again. We've still got a few greyed out bits. Ah, I think that was the costume shop, perhaps. And where can we go from the airport? Well, we've already been to Ireland, and right now Paris is our only location. So the police. Oh, what's with the dramatic music?
Sergeant Moo?
Yes.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur?
I'm the victim.
I'm sure I've already done this.
Outside, they stopped.
Yeah, I have definitely done this.
Would you like to shake my hand, Sergeant?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur. The gesture could be misconstrued.
A wise move.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur.
It's the guy who bombed the cafe. The clown.
Oh, so now I'm being honest.
Nothing like a clown?
He's taken off his grease paint and costume.
Then there is nothing to link this man with the killing.
Nothing? Look at those murderous eyes.
Hardly likely to get him convicted.
Maybe not in France, but, you know.
See you later, Sergeant.
Who can we call? Apparently no one. I'm guessing I just pick the phone up and nothing happens. Alright, that's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Anything else of note?
It was a public
Yeah, I gathered. Ooh, that could be useful.
It was just some police paperwork, a search warrant. It was Rosso's sidekick, Sergeant Moo.
Perhaps I missed something at the Musée Kroon.
Pardon me?
Oui, monsieur?
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John D. at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't.
He is a security guard.
I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied hard and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
Oh,
At
definitely.
your age? Dream on.
Oh, that's nice. We could have got rid of the security guard there. Well done, George. You complete and utter twat.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas
really,
you
I
know
know
next to
bugger
nothing
all.
about history.
Yeah.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar, not like Monsieur Lobineau.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century.
I feel like we may have gone
the
about this in the
Houdini
wrong
of his
order.
time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologist?
And I'm sure that we've
Whatever-
heard this before as well.
What kind of yeah. Can I?
What? That
How?
ape.
How?
By the slightest...
It strikes me that
It,
Yeah, we've definitely gone through all of this before.
I found it.
that means
How did you make?
I had a military man...
Thanks.
I think I'm going to hide in the sarcophagus.
Leave it alone.
Maybe not.
That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Closet. It's.
So I've got to see Nico really and ask her whether she's happy for. I'm guessing the Hotel Ubu isn't on air anymore. No. Yeah, there you go. And speak to her about whether she's happy for
Hello,
Lobino
George.
to pop over.
Oh, by the way, I had a visit
Yeah.
from André Lobineau.
When he was stood right
Oh,
in front
yeah.
of me.
I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again.
He doesn't
He
seem
was over the
lovely.
moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited.
How
He made a
disappointing for a
sketch of the
girl.
knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. Besides,
It was evil. I'd better get
Let's
back.
stop covering old ground, Nico. Right now, we just seem to be going back and forth and asking questions, but you know what? We will get there. I think that's what this game's about.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
Hello, Georgie.
That was a good guess, wasn't it?
Hey, I visited Nico's apartment.
So I understand.
Yeah.
Keep
she
your
told me you
grubby
came by.
hands off of her.
Ooh, quite a fine Georgie boy. I didn't expect anything quite so sexy.
I hope you're referring to the manuscript.
Oui, of course.
Well,
What did you make of
yeah,
the manuscript?
tell me something of
It
it.
dates from the time of the Crusades.
We guessed that from the Templar seal.
It's a story and pictures like a modern-day comic book.
But costs a little less.
What story does the manuscript tell?
I don't know. It was probably produced for the tourist market.
Tourists?
Oh, oui, pilgrims in their thousands on their way to Jerusalem. The tourist trade is nothing new, you know. It's been around for centuries. Ever since Joshua made a packet selling souvenir bricks from the walls of Jericho.
Have you deciphered any of the images on the manuscript?
There's very little I can be sure about. The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras,
Then
Who's
true.
he?
a Persian god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the knight. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
The writing on the shield, the reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have borne a coat of arms like that.
Can you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's a member of the De Vasconcelos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they famous?
No, they're not mentioned after the 15th century.
Oh.
The spotlight of history moved on. They're probably long dead.
And before the internet, we would have no way of finding out.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're
Perhaps it would be worth our travelling to Spain. Oh my god, we actually can. It was that easy. We just decided to hop on a plane, go to Spain. We don't have work to do or anything like that. Oh dear. No, I suppose that's good. We went out on a limb in the vain hope that this Spanish family might still live. Hi there! I'm George Stobart. Do you mind me walking on your lawn and through your hose pipe?
Hi, is this the De Vasconcelos house?
Who wants to know?
I could tell the old coot was going to be trouble. My name's George Stobart. I was wondering whether...
The house is not open to the family.
This is the De Vasconcelos
Oh, good
house.
God, he's a poor
And what
Mexican
business is that of
stereotype.
yours, senor?
Look, all I want is to speak to the
Excuse
head of the
me.
household.
There is no household. Only the Countess and myself.
Rabataco.
Tell me about the Countess de Vasconcelos.
She doesn't receive guests. That's all you need to know.
You don't even know what I have to talk to her about.
She hasn't won the lottery, has she?
Yeah, that's it. The Countess has won the lottery, and I'm here to give her the check.
Marvelous. May I see it?
No.
A little
No,
lie
no,
doesn't
I
hurt,
have to
it's
deliver it
told for
to
good
her in
reasons.
person.
The Countess doesn't do the lottery.
Oh, for crying out loud, why'd you lead me on then?
To amuse myself. To make you look a fool. To make you go away.
I hope you get hit by a recession.
What do you know about the Templars?
Who wants to know?
Are you angling for a bribe or something?
You have nothing that I want, senor. Except the pleasure of your absence.
Arriba.
The guy was obviously protecting the Countess against the whole world. But why?
Alright, let's time to go through all of these.
Have you got any use for a fistful of plaster?
No.
That's the worst spaghetti western I've ever heard of.
Do you recognize this man?
No.
I don't suppose this red nose means anything to you, does it?
Ha! El Flojo.
El who?
El Flojo. He is a clown
What's
on
the with
state
the-
television.
Oh, is he any good?
He is as funny as scabies. Without the laugh.
Look at this tissue.
It's a tissue with some greasy muck on it.
Yeah, it's yours.
Yes, that's right. Would you like to shake hands?
I do not think so, senor.
Do you know what this is?
See, I have a similar tool for opening culverts on the estate.
Do you recognize this matchbook?
I don't smoke.
You surprise me with your accent.
This lab pass mean anything to you?
Nothing.
What do you make of this?
So that's it. You're a salesman.
I would have gathered that as well.
If I was hawking
Do you want
medical
any one of
supplies,
these
I can
things?
think of better places to hawk them. See this gem? Men have died for it.
Do I look as if I care?
I'll be going for now.
Adios, senor.
Ah, okay. So it looks like we can go into this sort of shrine chapel place. A miniature St. Paul's.
Rats. It's locked. From a distance, I thought it might be a summer house. Close up, I wasn't so sure.
It's definitely a Templar building, though. We can see that. I'll get it open.
Rats. It's locked.
But none with that. I don't think any of these things are going to work as a key.
Rat. Down. It was a beautiful sight.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Spain.
The main part of the house was old, but nowhere
You go
near
to
as old as the
Spain, yeah.
gatehouse section.
don't care what some damn
Hey,
fool
you.
got now.
Yeah? What is it?
You would not like it if people just wandered into your home, would
We've
you?
clearly
No.
never played a role-playing
No,
game.
I guess not.
Then show a little consideration.
Okay. Sorry.
The first sane person we've met. Well, let's try the old pulling the lead out the wall trick.
I didn't like the idea of carrying 30 yards of hose around me, so I left it alone.
Well, that's not what I'm trying to do, you dumb bastard. Oh, that worked. I did think wrap the blood pressure thing around the hose, it might make it inflate and then blow up. Master Metal, lost a bit of pressure on your hose, and yes, innuendo fully intended.
My hose has stopped.